Acha, by the way, before we go into the class, why am I taking this class? I'm not a proper copywriter. So if you're expecting me to teach you like the theory of copywriting, like the experts like Gary Halbert and all, please, you'll be severely disappointed. I'm just a disciple of copywriting. I learn copywriting because it's an integral part of marketing strategies. In fact, if you see some really, really popular brand pages and even influencers, I have written some of their copies as well. If you guys want, I can actually send you some real projects. Like this was where before 1% Club was ever a big thing. This is like the real documents that were getting edited for copy. And I was the person, I think only I and two other people were working in the company back then. Now it's like a huge company now, also in the news for stuff. This is some copy that has really worked well for me. 10,000 signups with just one mail. One client for whom we made almost 4.5 lakhs in a launch, and copywriting was an integral part of it. And of course, some interesting copies. So these things I'll send you real examples. And these are all done much before ChatGPT ever came, by the way. So you will understand that for me, copywriting has been very essential because it is impossible to make money as a marketer or make money as a business owner today if you don't know how to write. Okay. So no matter what your background, again, I'm not a copywriter, you will still have to figure out how to write so well that people want to read. Okay. And I will give you a quick reason why. Okay. Let's say that there is a person called Ankur Wariku. Oh my God, I'll have to turn off the annotation. Just a second. By the way, I'm not sure how many of you are already subscribed to Variku's newsletter. Do understand this is just an example. A lot of people use newsletters as a marketing tool. I think for Variku, it's more of a community building thing because he does not promote his offers directly in his newsletter. But for the sake of the example, we'll assume that he has an email list of 100,000 people. Okay, he does, by the way. Even I have like a list of 35,000 people. And anyone who is has a significant amount of following will be able to grow a good email list. I to keep cleaning my email list every 6 months. So I delete a lot of followers as well. So let's say he has 100,000 people. Okay. This is why copywriting becomes very important. Today, I know that he is launching a new program. Okay. Let's say his program costs 2,000 rupees. And when he sends this mail, he uses a very mediocre headline. He uses a decent email copy. Okay. Now, an average open rate, let's say, is 15%. These rates vary from industry to industry, person to person, but I have taken the very average and lower base of that average, in fact. So let's say 15,000 people from that email list open that mail. Okay. 85% don't even ever see that mail. Fine. That's pretty normal. And out of that, at a 3% conversion rate, 450 people buy the program. These numbers also vary. If this is like a 2 lakh program, then of course the number of people buying becomes much less. Okay. So that would mean that from that one email, this person will make 9 lakhs in revenue. Pretty doable, pretty normal for personal brands, creators. These are average numbers. I have seen mails generate 21 lakhs, 25 lakhs also, just one mail, and even better results than that for international clients, honestly, right? So this is pretty normal. Okay. So this is the first case scenario. Okay. Hypothetical scenario. Now, let's say you are his marketing strategist, or you are a copywriter, or you yourself are Ankur Wariku. Let's say you decide ki I'm very unhappy that only 15% of these people have opened my mail. Okay. That means 85% have not, right? So you really work on improving your headline. Let's say your previous headline was something very basic as launching my new program, right? And instead, now you write a very, very good headline. Okay. Now, good headlines is a different masterclass altogether. But let's say you have used a very intriguing question in the headline, or you have used one of my templates, one of my formulas to create a headline that is extremely intriguing with, let's say, the personalization. Hey, Saheli, I noticed that you checked out my page. Something a little bit more personalized. Okay. Or expert entrepreneurs like you do this every day. Right? So something that is a little bit more personalized. So we improve the headline only. The copy remains the same. What will happen? Maybe the conversion won't change because the copy is remaining the same, the body. But because of a better headline, now 20% people will probably open the mail. Okay. And we see this consistently, right? I personally have like a 35% average open rate of my emails, which are sent to a huge mass. Okay. So it is pretty doable to increase your open rate up to 30-40%. Anything more than that is unheard of. If you have a list of more than 20, 30,000 people. That's impossible. But yeah, it's pretty good if you're having this kind of an open rate. So 20% people open. Now, out of that, since the number of people opening it has increased, number of buyers also increase, which means that now this person will make 12 lakhs in revenue. So just one headline change can actually raise revenue by 3 lakhs. Okay, that is huge value. So if you are a copywriter, why wouldn't they pay you 50,000 a month if you're able to make such regular tweaks into their content? If you can do this for yourself, if your content speaks better to your audience, more people open your messages, of course you will be able to make more money. Okay, so that's the direct impact of copy. That's why copywriters are still in demand. Okay, otherwise ChatGPT claims to do all sorts of copywriting, but ChatGPT's copy is pretty bad, right? Find me one person who has used copywriting of ChatGPT and has made $1 million business. It's been there in the market for more than 1.5 years now, right? No one. I don't find a single person. Everyone knows the skill themselves. Only then they can execute, right? Now, let's say now not only we improve the headline, but we also improve the email copy. Okay. Now this conversion rate can go from 3 to 5%. Again, these are average rates. Anything more than 5% is again very difficult, but doable, right? Like I have worked with clients who have a 10 to 15% conversion rate, which is huge. Okay. If you see, ye 3 se 2% bas bada hai, and the revenue went from 12 to 20. Why? Because of course the number of buyers, this is not just people opening the mail, this is actually people who are buying, right? So this is, even if the number is smaller, even if the percentage is just like a 0.2% increase, even then the numbers increase a lot. Okay, very important numbers. So good copywriters are able to do this. Okay, now if you were coming to my class, let's say 3 years ago, I would have given you one of the best ways to do that, to learn how to do really, really good copy, but it doesn't work that well anymore. I would subscribe to 8-figure entrepreneurs, right? So, for example, Grant Cardone is one of them. He writes like very, very good emails. I'll just open my profiles where I'm subscribed to him. I'm also subscribed to a lot of crap, so not sharing the entire thing right now. Okay. So Grant Cardone is like an 8-9-figure entrepreneur. He has a team of copywriters, and especially he invests heavily in copywriting. So if I was learning how to write headlines, I would not learn from a YouTube video on how to write headlines. I will not even learn from Saheli Chatterjee, unlike you guys. Why do you want to do that? I don't know. I would go and check all the mails that Grant Cardone has sent, because this is not Grant Cardone sending it. It's someone who is paid in 6 figures as a copywriter. Okay. And I will check out all the headlines, right? So I'll see what's interesting. I missed you yesterday. So well personalized. Okay. Also interesting to read. If you see, one of my own copies was about freelancing. And then it was something like, he finally said yes to my proposal. This means the freelance proposal. But yeah, I think this was something I did take inspiration from a very popular copywriting expert, but not Cardone, right? So I'm subscribed to a lot of 8-figure, 9-figure entrepreneurs. So should you. Grant Cardone's mails I personally really, really like. Okay. This is fine. This is more personalized to him because this is his program. Okay. But then I think this is like personalization expiring. What else? Saheli, you and like if you see his headlines are very short, like these are not long, right? So I'll see what are the common patterns. So if I want to learn, I'll learn from the best, right? If you are interested, please subscribe to Grant Cardone's email list. Also, literally any 8-figure business personal brands though, because business brands are not like this aggressive with their copywriting. So you'll not learn a lot. But yeah, this really helps. I'll probably make a list of this. I'll show you how to make a list of headlines and then also use it using ChatGPT. But yeah, coming back to the entire thing that I was trying to illustrate. Yeah. So case 3, you directly make more money. So is it clear why copy is so important? Like the direct impact of copy? Is it 100% clear? Like why are we even learning this? Why is it even important? Okay. Great. Right. And if you think of it in this way, if you have to persuade a client or if you have to, verbally put out your skill set, the copy decides how many people will watch a video, right? We watch so many videos on YouTube because we like the thumbnail. We watch so much content online because we got pulled in by the content, right? And YouTube is literally designed in that way. I might actually regret opening my YouTube like this in the middle of the class. But yeah, random stories that sell. This is too much. Inferiority complex. Uh, if you see, like, the entire feed is full of some type of copy which helps these videos get a lot of views. Okay, I still watch a lot of artsy content and music and movies. But if you watch primarily marketing content, your feed will be full of these things, right? So it's pretty interesting how content is designed in a way that it decides how many views something will get. Okay, also, because it decides how many views a certain thing will get, be it a video, reel, content piece, post, also decides how many people will watch it full, right? If the content is interesting to hear, if it's hooking me, if it's valuable, then only somebody will watch it. Now, if somebody watches it, then they might sign up for a newsletter or something further. If the mails are good, then only people will open the mails. If the mail is well written, then only people will check out the paid offers. If the page after that is well designed, only then people will buy the products, right? So at every step of a funnel, there is some sort of copy, because copy is communication, right? You don't just sit somewhere and buy something. Some sort of an interaction happens that you decide that you want to buy something, especially digitally. So copy becomes very, very important. Copy is sales. Without it, even the best content, products, or ideas fall flat. And this relates the same way, even if we are talking about service-based businesses. When I'm sending an outreach message, an outreach mail, that is also some sort of a copy. When I am pitching my offers, those are also copy. Okay, if I am running a webinar funnel, the webinar itself is copy, and we have seen massive changes in webinar conversions just by changing one or two slides. Okay, so that is how important, or that is how crucial copy can become. Okay, but then most people don't understand why is a copy so important. How is it still relevant if I can just ask ChatGPT, write my copy, and it will give me some copy, right? Because we don't know what is missing. If we don't know the skill, we don't know what is missing. Okay, it's almost like, if let's say you are really good at website design and I show you a website made from a Wix template, you will be able to figure out the problems, but I will think, okay, it's a website, it's a functional website, right? So yeah, that's the problem. If you know, then only you can fix things in bad copy. Okay, now, I would really like to show you one of my works, in recent works, that is, so that, yeah. So this entire website that you will see here, the entire website copy is done by me and my agency. And this is like at least 15 pages totally. Right. So, and this is a 2 Comma Club member. She's spoken on stage with leaders like Ali Abdal and Stephen Bartlett. So you can check out this content if you want to see my work specifically and how I have implemented things. Okay. And of course, even the website is designed by us. So yeah, that's a new service we have added to our agency. If you have referrals, please send my way. Thank you very much. But yeah, the different pages are created in a different way. Yeah. Now, coming back to the content, right? So what I was talking about is that ChatGPT generally sucks, right? If I would have just, when I got this project, I would have just gone to ChatGPT and said, write me the copy of this page. It would have given me horse shit, and that wouldn't work. That wouldn't get me a high-paying client, and let alone retain it. So, what are the reasons why ChatGPT actually faces problems? First one is it doesn't have context, right? Most of the time, we are giving a very bad prompt without any specification on what brand voice we want. We don't give the psychological triggers we want, or what kind of emotional effect we want the text to have. Okay. Secondly, it has very generic responses. Like, I asked it to create a valuable post for LinkedIn. It gave me like the worst possible post: consistency, value, authority, and I wanted to puke. Okay. Doesn't look good. Creativity, of course, is not there. ChatGPT is not creative yet. And its creativity, if I look at its creativity, I feel that even guys with zero emotional quotient have more creativity, and even empathy, right? Same. Okay. Empathy in them is worse than my boyfriend's, because he doesn't have any, with the more robotic guy. And strategy, of course, ChatGPT has only the strategy that it has been wired to have. So it doesn't have anything recent, right? I know the trends, I know what is coming. Okay. So I will have to give it some context to give me a good response. Okay. Where will this response help me? In writing different types of copy. Now, what are the different types of copy we should learn to write? First is direct response copywriting, right? Now, direct response copy is a specific type of copywriting. It can be a post, it can be a page, it can be a mail also. But basically, it is designed, or the term is used when the mail itself or the content itself decides an action like purchase. Okay. So directly someone takes an action on that mail. Okay. So it's not for nurturing, it is not for relationship building, it is just for making money. Okay. So that's why it's called direct response copywriting. And the traditional marketers respect direct response copywriters the most because it's the hardest. Okay. If you actually want to study the best of the best, the creme de la creme, you should go to this website called swipe.co, SYSWIPED.co, and you will get all the amazing, legendary direct response copywriting ever written. Okay. I just think that these days it's a bit outdated, right? Because even if the basics are same, people just don't read that much. Okay. Not that much. Okay. And if you beat around the bush too much, I feel like you lose people and their attention. So that's my issue with direct response copywriting to the T, but then still a lot of basics still remain the same, still very valuable. Okay. Then there's, of course, email copywriting. One of the major areas where copy is used is emails. You get mails every day. That is copy. Social media copywriting, where we basically do content, right? When the content is written in a very, very good way that it makes people take action, it can be called a sort of copy itself, right? Ad copywriting, very, very well paid. And if you want to work with agencies, you have to learn ad copywriting. And B2B copywriting, least experienced in this. But this is where, like, instead of the customer, businesses read this. So the language is more formal, it's more value driven, it's more elevated in language, right? I will probably be very experimental with B2C or D2C copywriting, but not with anything else. Okay. So this is where you might need to use good copywriting skills. Okay. Now, basic formula that you should know, okay, that every copywriter knows, but since I am taking a class on this, I am forced to repeat this. And if somebody can explain this better in the chat, I will gift you one book. Okay. I'll gift you a very good book that I have got 2 copies of accidentally. Okay. And this is the AIDA formula. Okay. AIDA. Yeah. You got it. Got it. All of you take the cakes. What is it? Attention, interest, desire, action. Okay. Attention is the best example I can give you of AIDA to understand in layman's terms is क्या आपके मसूड़ों में तकलीफ है? क्या आपके टूथपेस्ट में नमक है? That attention, interest, and then all the benefits. Okay. And then action is like dentist Vara recommended Pepsodent or Colgate. I don't even remember which ad it was. Okay. But at this point, I saw this ad for the first time when I was 6 or 7 year old, didn't have teeth issues. I am 25 now. I have teeth issues. So now I truly understand why the first sentence was क्या आपके मसूड़ों में तकलीफ है, because मेरे मसूड़ों में अभी तकलीफ है. Okay. And that copy really hit home, right? We all remember that, right? I don't think there's anyone here who doesn't remember that ad, right? So legendary, right? So that is basically AIDA formula. Okay. Any sort of marketing that you will see, you'll probably be able to break it down into the AIDA formula. Okay. Or the PAS formula, which is problem, agitation, solution. Okay. Netflix homepage is the idea. Yeah. So if you learn the theory, basic theory of copywriting, you will probably figure this out. Now, I will recommend you some more formulas for specific things. For example, if you are doing sales pages, then AIDA is not enough. There's a guy called Perry Belcher. And I think I'm remembering the name right. And Belcher has a very interesting 21-step formula that we are going to talk about very soon. Okay. And yeah, that 21-step formula is better for long form pages, right? Because AIDA is a short formula. Okay. But this is the basic formula. Once you know this, you can structure literally anything and everything: reels, content, copy, mails, everything. Okay. So before we get into the usage, okay, various prompts for usage, and then real demo of that, we will talk about some psychological triggers. There's quite a few. I think there's 25, 30. Okay. And wo bhi maine condense kiya hai kafi because there's so many. Okay. And I've also added examples so that you understand. Don't worry, I will give you prompts to use each as well. But let's just understand the theory behind it. Why is it important? Okay. Now, before we do that, I want to show you an example. Okay, let's say this is ChatGPT. Okay, I have a fitness program. So I'm just using a client's example here, right? So let's say my client has asked me to write her copy, right? And I have so I'm writing as the client here. Okay, I can also write my client as a fitness program. It's for women between 25. So firstly, I'll give it some context. Okay, 25 to 50, suffering from hormonal issues. Suggest me 10 content ideas. Okay, first I'll probably get the content ideas out and then I will make it write something. Okay, and then I will actually put prompts so that I can show you how everything changes when I'm changing the prompt. Okay, let me take something basic and easy. Which one should I take? Uh, the connection between sleep and hormones. Okay, I think this is something men can also relate to on some level. Okay, connection between sleep and hormones. Write this post, and I'm putting for LinkedIn. I just hope that I don't hit my limit today because I don't have the premium version. Okay, as we see, this is super boring to read, super bleh. Okay, and as we go through some psychological triggers, we will add it and see how the content changes. And there's much more to do to improve this to a level that it will become very attractive and a viral worthy content piece. But this is a good place to start. Okay. This is super boring. Why is it boring? No personalization as such for women, did not directly speaking to the client, not directly speaking to the readers. Okay. These are all the main issues. Okay. Balancing hormones start with just not interesting. Just not interesting. There's no numbers much here. So these things I can predict or kind of identify at one glance because I know the basics. So it's lacking numbers, it's lacking authority, it's lacking any personal insight, as in how I have helped my clients with their sleep. Okay, or have I personally gone through sleep issues? No, this is a very generic piece of content, and we will use our skills to make it more personalized. Okay, now this you can do literally for anything and everything, from social media to sales pages and everything under the sun. Okay, the first gap or the first bias that we learn about will be the curiosity gap. Okay. What is a curiosity gap? This is where you're using copy in a way that makes people curious. Okay. Now, at our base level, what makes us curious? Gossip. Okay. Gossip makes us curious. Not being able to know something no makes us curious. Secrets make us curious. Okay. So these will probably be keywords. Okay. So for example, this guy is starting the statement or this particular reel in this case with a statement like, I just found a SaaS making $24,000 per month. Okay. My immediate curiosity is piqued. What is this SaaS? Okay. Now there are so many other copy strategies in this. Number is being used. Okay. I just found this. It signals that he found something that I didn't. Okay. So there's a lot of underlying things, but this is the basic factor. Okay, this is the curiosity gap. Remember the psychological biases we are learning, and then suggest me 3 probably after we've done 10, and then we will change the prompt with those 3. Okay, I'll take the most common ones from the chat, so don't say anything right now. Okay, but curiosity gap is an important thing. Okay, when you want to capture attention, you will probably lean on curiosity as the core psychological trigger. By the way, if you want to go even deeper into psychological biases and triggers, there's a book called Dark Manipulation. Okay. I am pretty sure my ex read it, and some of yours too, but it's actually very good if you want to learn psychological biases. Acha. The second one will be pattern interruption. Okay. Again, works great for content and copy. Pattern interruption is, see, on social media, what happens? What we see, everybody says, do this, do that, download this, do that. But this is a pattern interruption where the creator is saying, do not do the teamwork trend. Okay. Or when you land on a landing page and it says, do not read this page any further. The other day I was looking at a book, okay, and the cover of that book is, do not read this book. If you're reading this book, then you are in the wrong universe. Okay. So instead of every book that invites you to read that book, right? That this book is the solution, this book is pushing you away. Now that's something very contradictory. It makes you feel attracted. Ki, oh, what is this? I want to know this, right? So some sort of a pattern interruption, okay, against the feed. Okay. By the way, once I've taught you all these psychological biases, next time you scroll your feed now, you'll think of me because you'll recognize what psychological biases are being used. Because uh, either creators are using consciously or unconsciously, but they are using it for sure. Okay. Also, by the way, I have added some examples each of headlines and CTAs, but these will differ from person to person. Okay. Um, all right. The next one is loss aversion. I should have probably added the desktop version. Loss aversion is where people hate losing double as much as they want to gain something. Okay. So, for example, if you check out the landing page of the part time YouTuber Academy, I will just detach this image so that I can show you. Okay. This has so many copywriting strategies used in one place. Okay. Oopsie. Yeah. I will reduce the size a bit. Okay. Loss aversion. Where is loss aversion happening? Where you see this. Okay. We have learned lessons the hard way, so you don't have to. We have condensed 7 years of experience on YouTube for you, and that's how we are going to help you. Okay. So people may not want to buy a $2,000 course, but they don't want to lose 7 years trying to figure things out, because 7 years is a very long time. Okay. So here, loss aversion is actually the king in this landing page, right? It's that important a strategy that a top YouTuber who makes millions selling his programs is using that as his primary strategy. What are the other strategies used here? Copywriters in the house, the experienced people in the house. If you can identify it, it will be great. Okay. I'll keep saying it, by the way. uh, 7+ years, this is a number. Numerics help. 6,000 creators helps. यहाँ पे Ankur Wariku's photo is there. A lot of recognizable faces are there. And if you see, they have included a lot of ethnicities and backgrounds. That also really helps. Find out more, and there's a visual button there. Okay, so that helps. What else? We've condensed 7 years of YouTube experience into programs designed to help you on your YouTube journey. So help you on your YouTube journey. So it doesn't really talk much about how Ali is the best, right? Because Ali could have talked about that. He is very popular, but he focuses more on the reader landing on that page. Because also usually these programs are also hosted mostly by their assistants and team, and a lot of times they don't even have live support. So if they focus too much on the creator, it will cause future problems. Okay. Yeah, the lot of white space, right? And this is something I think designers can educate you guys on, if there are any designers in the house. White space also helps a lot in focusing on the right words, right? Sometimes speaking less is better than speaking a lot. Okay. Right. The next is something called temporal framing. Okay. Temporal framing is where we use some sort of a time to quantify the result I'm going to give you. Okay. The example would be this webinar I got an invite for. This is, I think, IIM, inside IIM program. And I think it's for students of the MBA program. How to launch your brand in just 30 minutes. That 30 minutes is called temporal framing. Okay. This is all jargon, by the way. You don't need to know these terms. You just need to know that this is getting used. Okay. You need to prompt ChatGPT that use temporal framing. Okay. I know some of you might find these like very theoretical, very boring. But then if you don't know the theory, how can you do it? Unless you know grammar, you can't write poetry. A lot of poetry breaks grammatical rules, but then we still have to learn English. We have to learn grammar, and only then we can break the rules. Okay. So launch your brand in just 30 minutes. Now, what if I wanted to use this with loss aversion? I would probably say either start your brand in the next 3 months or waste 10 years figuring it out. Okay. So you can actually mix two, three things together. That is a pretty normal thing to do. Okay. Other temporal framing examples would be the kind of content I usually make: 7-day guide to do this, 10-day guide to do that, 30-day workshop to do this, transform your workflow in 7 days. Okay. Temporal framing. Temporal framing is also something that I use with my clients a lot. Okay. So whenever I'm on a client call, I usually tell them, hey, if I onboard you today, in the next 30 days, you will have these results. In the next 60 days, you'll have these results. In the next 90 days, you can expect these results. Okay. That really helps me convert clients as well. So this is something that you can use not just for writing copy, but even verbally. If you're doing these things, it sets really good expectations with clients. They're more likely to convert versus someone who is very vague with their responses. Okay. The Zeigarnik effect. Okay. Again, sort of like curiosity. Okay. Where you kind of leave thoughts incomplete. Okay. You might have seen this a lot on YouTube. Okay. Where these YouTubers are like, I finally quit, dot, 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 dot. Right. I finally left YouTube, dot, 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 dot. I broke up, dot, 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 dot. My wife left me, dot, 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 dot. So that is called the Zeigarnik effect, where you kind of leave your thoughts incomplete, but it has to be something that actually piques interest. Okay. So this one piques interest in some way. And if you see, this is somebody with a very small channel. I have taken someone purposefully so that you guys can see that this works. But you should have seen this on very big channels as well. Okay. I quit. I left Google, dot, 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 that kind of effect. Okay. So we kind of leave thoughts incomplete. Contrast principle. We kind of put contrasting options side by side. Okay. I'll show you a website example of this as well. But in content, I think one of the profiles I really follow is Ava's profile, personal brand launch, and she shows the same piece, but two different results for that same one. You would also see this contrast principle in pricing solutions on brand pages. Okay. It immediately shows what you get or what you don't get when you subscribe or don't subscribe. For example, I'll show you captions. There's a software as a service called Caption. I'll go to the pricing section, right? It is one of the best examples of, where is the pricing? Yeah, plans, sorry. Right. So this is where you can see the contrast, right? You can see what you get in Pro, what you get in Max, what you get in Scale. And here, there's a very lengthy version of doing it. Okay. Somewhere it's done much more aggressively. I don't know if it still is, but Andrew Tate has this thing called Hustler University. And its contrast part shocked the F out of me because it was, I think they have changed the contrast part. Oh, I think they've changed the contrast part, but it had a great contrast part. And I hope that I will find the page. Remind me at the end. I'd taken screenshots, but I still remember in one side it was written a failure, a success, an ugly wife, a hot wife. Of course, it was not something that I advocate, but it was very interesting to see that how they have tapped into the mindset of their target audience. Okay. See, I am a student of marketing and copywriting. I am not giving a comment from a moral point of view because morally this doesn't align with me. But it's very interesting to see how they really talk the language of their target audience, which is largely like men, largely men, and men who hold pretty aggressive thoughts against women. So it was really structured in that way. I think they've changed that because I'm sure they would have gotten a lot of backlash. But really, that was a more aggressive example. But you would see contrast principle all the time. You would see this on a lot of YouTube videos, right? I paid $5 versus $50 for a logo. Here's what the difference looks like. So again, a great idea to show how different things compare against each other. Okay, this can be used for content, copy, materials. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, now next. Reverse psychology. Okay. Here's where we use negative language that makes readers reconsider. Okay. So things like don't click here, don't do this, my account stopped growing, I left social media, here's why. Okay. All those things are reverse psychology. Reverse psychology helps a lot in getting high quality responses from any sort of chat GPT or any sort of AI tool where you're getting very generic stuff all the time. When you ask it to reverse it, then it gets a little bit more creative. So I usually do this when I'm really struggling to be creative. Okay. Decoy effect, I think everyone here knows. Middle tier option helps a lot with pricing. Usually this is the effect I use in my proposals when I'm proposing a certain price range to a client. Okay. Empathy mapping. Okay. This is where you get very emotional. This is very, very powerful when you are selling very high ticket. So these kind of s- sentences you'd probably see on programs which cost $2,000, $5,000, or tools that cost north of that. Okay. Because their deeper problems need to be there that somebody is shelling so much money out. Okay. Alex Catoni is a very popular copywriter, and you would see this done really well on her profile. It really taps into the emotions of the reader. I'll zoom this a bit. Okay. Or I'll actually see if I can go to her website itself because this is just like a bit. Yeah. But her copy is like next level. Um, Very, very lengthy, very lengthy. I'll see if there's a page available right now because her pages are not always available. Yeah, not always available. Yeah, I'll see if this one's available. Hopefully it is. But yeah, she writes very lengthy pages, very text heavy, right? And whenever somebody writes text heavy stuff that converts, you know they write really, really well. Right. Ignite your business with copy that converts. Want to work with the raddest, baddest crew of copywriters. I believe that the best copywriting combines authentic brand storytelling with blah, 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 blah. Rad humans who care about you. So we're only looking at the emotional or the connection parts of it for this particular example, but there's a lot going on here, of course. If you see, even the testimonial she picks out, they are not really about the money they have made. Okay. Although this is a very, very highly priced program. I'm forgetting the price, but it's huge. Okay, it's north of a couple $1,000s. But none of the testimonials are about the money. It's about the emotions. Okay. Alex changed my life. She's the real deal. Prepare to be blown away by your greatness. The value is outstanding, one of the best decisions I've made. Incredible. That's so, it's so small, right? It's not even about the money that I got this many clients, I got this much money. Although you would feel that for a program like this you would talk more numbers, right? But actually the thing is, the more high price something is, the more people need to have emotions connected to it, right? People buy with emotions and then they justify with logic. Okay. This is a great content piece, by the way, for you guys who are marketers to probably pick out, because this is a great example on why you don't really necessarily need to talk numbers to sell, right? Because a lot of people do, inclusive of me, and I'm not shy of that. But then, if you want, you can also ignite emotions and see if that helps. Okay. Yeah. Very, very interesting. Oh, I think this is the free page, and the upsell page is the program. Okay, I'm not sorry about that. But then definitely has quite a few programs. Also, on her channel, she recently made a video on her $500,000 launch. Very, very well done. Please check it out if you want to delve deeper into copywriting, if you want to delve deeper into launch marketing very specifically, because that is my niche. And launches are great. But then very few people are able to do good launches. Most launches tank, especially lately. The launches have become very, very hard. And I'll talk to you about the legitimate reasons for that as well. Because launch marketing was great back in COVID when people would be there to attend live sessions and have time. But today, launches have changed that drastically. But yeah, coming back, hopefully the example was clear. Endowment effect. What is that? We kind of make people visualize things. Okay. You would see that a lot on products. Okay. Nova, I like the brand a lot. Delicious flavors, unbeatable crunch. Like even when you see the words, you can feel the sensations. Okay. If you want to infuse your content with endowment effect, I feel like a great way to do that would be prompt ChatGPT that make this content piece using the 5 sensory devices. Okay. Smell, touch, sense, feel, all of those things. You'll get like very, very sensory details, and that would help you. Okay. But then this doesn't help with all brands. Like I have business clients, business brands. For them, it's not important. But let's say food products, even luxury products, right? These things become very important. The sensory feels become very important. Okay. Before we move on to more elements, okay, we'll now use a few and see how the prompt changes or how the answer changes. Okay. Which one should I use, guys? Let me know. Just tell me which one should I use for the example that I was showing until now. Temporal framing is a good one. Okay. If there's any other recommendation, I can take that too. Reverse psychology, empathy mapping, I think would be. Okay, let's see reverse psychology as of now. Okay, I'll give both psychology and sometimes ChatGPT takes two different contexts as well. So if you want, you can actually explain time and negative results here. Sometimes it's in a bad mood and it says, it's against my policy, I won't do it. I don't think this is changing. Oh, I think it changed. Sorry. Okay, let's see. Do I like it better now? Okay, I can see the language is much stronger. Hormonal chaos is fine. I still don't like how it begins. Okay, but that's fine. That is not something we work on now. Did you know that ignoring your sleep habits can? Hmm. By the way, this is not the way I would start it. So since I'm experienced in this, I'll tell you what a good sentence would be. Are you sleeping less than 7 hours a night? You might be destroying your health. Okay. That is something very, very powerful. Okay. But this is something that only comes with experience, not like that. Okay. But still it's better. Okay. We are talking about, okay, hormone, consistent lack of sleep disrupts. Okay. Very interesting. I don't think it has used temporal framing. So I will actually prompt it further. Please incorporate time-based, time-bound content tips that are applicable. So this is why you need to know why temporal framing, what is it even? Otherwise, you can't really understand when it has missed the point. Reverse psychology, I can see it has used a lot of negative words and stuff, but okay, now it's incorporating time-based examples. Okay, here's a time-based schedule. Now, this is something now, if I want, I can make my client into a lead magnet. Okay, here's a sleep routine lead magnet that I will now help my client make. And my client can make this into a lead magnet that people will sign up for and get into her newsletter. Okay, so it can be maybe the 2-hour wind down routine. Okay, so not only did this give me a content idea, but also it gave me a lead magnet idea for my client. Okay, here's where it helps to know basics of copy. Just by looking at this, I am getting these ideas. Okay, unless you have these things in your head, you will not be able to come up with ideas also to help your clients grow. At the end of the day, the essential thing you need to learn is not writing or designing or even sales. You need to learn how to help your clients so much that they are making more and more money, and thus they will pay you. Okay, but yeah, this is fine. At the end, we'll probably edit this, but yeah, this is still better. Okay, I still don't like the language. Okay, but we'll talk about some more effects. Where did we pause? Plausible deniability, probably, yeah. We have a few more and then we'll get into even more interesting stuff. Okay, plausible deniability where we kind of create a sense of disbelief. Okay, this one is very interesting. I paid this much for a call. Okay. But yeah, people want to know. Okay. Also goes along with curiosity. Processing fluency. This is really, really good for ads. Okay. Asking people to check their IQ, kind of challenging people to sign up for something so that they you know validate their skills or not, and then if they're not good enough, they will probably sign up for the offer or the program. Okay, this you will probably see software services use a lot. Okay, or even exam programs use a lot. Okay, they help you kind of check your fluency out. Okay, so if you work with search brands, helps a lot. Emotional anchoring is where you sort of like emotional mapping, but yeah, here you start off by anchoring someone in a certain time. Okay, remember when it was fun to do social media? Okay, remember Instagram before reels became a thing? Okay, so if your target audience can relate to that statement, they will of course be much more hooked, okay, to your content, to the thing you want to say. Okay, pratfall effect. Okay, this is where so pratfall effect is very interesting. It's where they say when somebody is too beautiful, too perfect, okay, we don't like them enough. Okay, and this was actually shown in a lot of studies that two women or two people, I'm forgetting what, who were like very, very good, very, very perfect, and one person fell down or something, and one person didn't. People like the person who fell down more because a little bit of flaw in someone who is very perfect otherwise is more believable. Okay, so that is called the pratfall effect. Okay, and this is where you will see a lot of brands actually, so especially celebrities, right? They celebrities have a very perfect life compared to a lot of other people. Like definitely, they are one of the privileged lots, but their PR teams are always working to make them appear humble, to make them make mistakes, to make them appear more relatable, right? And that helps their brand, that helps their popularity. Okay, because then they are more likable. Okay, so yeah, that's where it's very important, the pratfall effect. Okay, so this one, IKEA, proudly the second best. Okay, we are not perfect, but we are pretty close. Okay, so if you can use this in your copy, if you can use this in your pitch, okay, imagine like, okay, by the way, this is something that I do on every client call. Okay, I whenever I'm taking a client call and I'm talking about my services, which is organic marketing, I proudly tell my clients, I am so bad at ads. Okay. Now I shouldn't do that, right? I can easily upsell ad services. Okay. But the issue is that I don't want to, firstly. And secondly, when I humbly accept to the client that I am bad at ads, I'm also telling them that's because I have gotten so good at organic because I focus on organic. I don't want to do ads because I want to dedicate my life to organic marketing. Okay. And that is my core belief. So by showing that one flaw of mine to the client, that I don't run ads, I don't know how to run ads. Okay, I'm also showing my strength. Okay. So if you can use this in your pitches, in your materials, in your content, you can actually build much more trust. Okay. Yes, the clients would probably not come to you for ads, and that's fine. Okay. What you don't sell, you don't need to. Okay. So please use pratfall effect in your materials content. Don't be shy to accept that you're bad at something. It will help. Okay. IKEA effect is where you involve readers in a certain plan. How do I implement this? I ask my clients to fill up questionnaires before they get on a call with me. Okay, that helps. If you are creating a lead magnet, you can ask people to fill up a certain criteria, and then you can send the lead magnet accordingly. You can have a different lead magnet for a marketer, different lead magnet for a business person, and a different lead magnet for probably B2B brand owner. Okay, so that's IKEA effect, where you kind of make someone feel involved. Scarcity and exclusivity. Okay, you will see this a lot. Only 100 spots left. Claim yours. Or let's say you're only taking enrollments, or you're only taking clients for a certain time. Okay. Today it's what, 17th of November. It's literally 40, 43 days, I think, till the year end, 45 days. Okay. So today is a great time to post that, hey, it's just 45 days to 2025. On an average, it takes me 30 days to show clients real results. The only way I can help you scale your business in 2025 is if you start working today. For that, you'll have to book a call with me. So that is like how you can incorporate it in your content pitch, get inbound leads. Okay. You can also directly mail. So if I want to use this as a pitch, I would probably write to a brand that, hey, I noticed that you have a skincare brand. For most skincare brands, the year-end time is great for sales because most people want to buy products. They are in the festive season, they're spending money, they're buying gifts. I can help you do that with my copy services. I can help you do that with my website design services with a better website. I can help you do that with marketing, whatever you do. Okay. So that way, scarcity and exclusivity does not have to be about you. It can also be about the season. Okay. I really love seasonal marketing. It has really helped my business a lot. Okay. If you see, I plan all my major launches and my client major launches around the New Year time because New Year time is great for sales. People are also in a great vibe. Okay. So it works really well. So don't think that scarcity will look fake because you only have 0 clients or 2 clients. Okay. Nothing like that. Scarcity doesn't really, it's not about numbers. It's also about is the season sometimes. Okay. So please learn how to incorporate this into your pitches. You will get more clients. Okay. Previous pitch. Asta, if you like the pitch, I will actually do a live demo of a pitch like this. Okay. Just let me keep it written down somewhere. This is my favorite website for calm writing. Okay, I will include this in the live demo part. Okay, that would be more helpful for you. Ha, guys, we have so many things to go through still. But yeah, I hope that you're finding them all interesting and you're still learning new things. Trust me, you will not find these things organized like this at a single place anywhere. This is like a lot of research, lots of papers, lots of help, and lots of fine tuning things, and also finding exact examples has been so hard for all of this. Hyperbolic discounting, okay, where you kind of tell someone that, okay, hyperbole means like kind of exaggerating something. Okay. And you tell someone that, hey, get results today, not next month. Okay. This is doable in some niches, in some products. Okay. Some products that give immediate results, some products that can show a visible difference. So this girl comes a lot on my feed, and I don't think it should. It's about how to look younger. Okay. And she keeps showing these examples where she's like, see the result in 7 days. You don't have to wait for 3 months to see any difference. In 7 days, you will see all your wrinkles gone, all fine lines gone, and all of those things. Right. And that is hyperbolic discounting. Even I know that, even you know that. Okay. When you see that video on how to get abs in 7 days at 3 a.m. at night, where you have spent the entire day having pizza and chili chicken, then you know that they are like, they're not going to help you. But even then, just the fact that they're saying that you will get it in 7 days, okay, makes you feel that theek hai. Okay. If YouTube videos started having titles like get abs in 3 months if you stop eating crap for the next 3 months while also following this workout, nobody is going to watch those videos. Okay. So hopefully you get hyperbolic discounting. Okay, guys, you got the examples, right? You're understanding the examples, right? Because this is important. Like every example is important so that you understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. Cool. I see a lot of questions. So any questions I will answer at the end. Okay. So please keep it because there's so many slides. Most likely through the course only, you will understand the answer. Okay. Great. Power of reframing. Okay. We kind of reframe things here. Okay. What does that mean? We focus on benefits. Okay. Yikes. How do I explain this better? Okay. Let's say I'm creating a program which is about wellness. Okay. Now, I can say invest in our meditation program. I can say invest in our well being supplement. Okay. But instead, instead of focusing on the product, I'm focusing on the result. I'm reframing the investment into the result. Okay. So an investment into your peace of mind. Okay. You should have seen this kind of copywriting in some places, like fitness programs. Okay. Find your light body again. Enjoy running with your kids again. Okay. So we are reframing from the weight loss factor to probably the result factor, which is like even more powerful. Okay. There's another copywriting strategy to get to that uh, place called so what. Okay. So let's say the result is losing weight. So what? Enjoy social life. So what? Be more approachable and attractive. So what? Have more prospects, have more opportunities. So what? Make more money, be more successful. So what? So we keep asking so what until we get to a an end result that we really, really like or we find very, very attractive. Okay. So that is like what I mean by reframing. Okay. We kind of frame something towards a more desirable result. Okay. I couldn't find a very good example like actively from this, but then I have seen this before. Okay. But yeah, we focus on something that is indirectly a result. Okay. Of course, FOMO, I think, is very, very common. Okay. I personally also have used it a lot. Okay. FOMO is basically fear of missing out. When there is a certain thing happening, we ask people to join so that they don't miss out. Okay. And for example, here I have used my own example on how I used it. Last month, I took a class on personal brands, and I genuinely don't repeat my master classes. Okay. I took one copywriting class last year, and that was a very different class. By the way, that class you can take if you want to learn the basic copywriting, like social media copywriting, the basics of it, email copywriting, the basics of it. That class was taken was when ChatGPT was still nascent. So you needed to learn those things. So if you guys are a part of the academy, you already have access to it. So please check it out. Um, but yeah, I don't repeat my classes. Even today, I am doing this copywriting class. So there'll be no copywriting AI class anymore for a while. So I know genuinely that anyone who misses this one will not get to attend this live anymore. Okay. So that is when I will send these mails or send this content saying that, hey, if you want to join, this is the last time. Okay. Uh, yeah. Personalization depth. This is where you kind of allocate a personalized data to the material. Okay. This you must have seen already. How does this happen? The email tool that we use usually captures the first name, the number, the location. If it has asked you, by the way, you only put it with your permission. So then when we use it in the content, in the materials, it adds more personalization. That is also very helpful for copywriting. Paradox of choice is where we avoid a lot of options in our copy. This is not a do, but a don't rather in copywriting. We don't give too many choices, otherwise, people will get confused in our offer. For example, I have a signature program, Freelancing Academy, but I also do lots of masterclasses regularly. Okay. But I don't actively promote them. I only promote them when I'm actually doing it for a week or so. Because I know that if I do, then people will get confused what they need, what they don't. It's easier to say that there's only one thing I focus on, which is also true because I put everything under one place. Okay. So we reduce the number of options in our content. Mere exposure effect. Okay. Uh, this is two things. Okay. One thing is repeating something repeatedly throughout something. Okay. And also adding trusted resources. Okay. Uh, for example, if I were to check out just a landing page, I'll actually go to Alex's tool itself because I think I was in the flow with that already. Again, we will check out the program page. Where did it go? Yeah, there it is. Right. So throughout this page, you would see so much content about copywriting. Okay. It doesn't go from her story to her clients, to her students, to her work. It doesn't. It focuses totally on writing. It focuses totally on copy. Okay. It focuses totally on one thing. Okay, so when something is repeated constantly, and this happening across social media, you'd see her YouTube, it's about copy. You'd see her social media, it's about writing. You'll see her newsletters, it's about copy. So there's a lot of uh, the same thing happening again and again and again. Okay, strong brands are known for one thing. Okay, generic brands are known for a lot of things, and what the difference is, I'll give you a very example. Ankur Warikoo is a generic brand. He's able to sell programs worth 2000 rupees and stuff, but he will really struggle to sell something high ticket, like 1 lakh, 2 lakh and stuff. Okay. Main reason being that he's generic, right? He's someday giving relationship advice, someday giving financial advice, someday giving book writing advice, someday giving some other advice. Okay. That content works great in masses, but no one trusts them on one particular thing that they will pay a lot of money to. But people like Alex Katoni and even like business coaches, right? There are many business coaches in India like Rajiv Talreja who are very reputed, very trusted, but they make very specific content. So that is mere exposure effect. Just because we know them and we associate them with certain industry experts and we constantly see them talk about one thing, we know that that one thing they do incredibly well. Okay. So we'll buy anything at any price from them. Okay. Not everyone can do that. And that is also a skill. You would much rather have a group of 100 people ready to pay you 1 lakh at any point than a group of 1 lakh people not even ready to pay you 100 rupees. Okay. Because you're so generic. Okay. In India, it's actually easier to grow a generic audience than a specific audience for sure. So this is not anything against the creator. You would see a lot of creators do this. Okay, even I make very generic content sometimes, but still, like I still have a niche called freelancing, and I like it. I like talking about freelancing content. Coming back, emotional imagery. Okay, lots of emotional painting vivid mental pictures. Okay, picture a day where work feels effortless. A very good example of this would be the twist lick dunk campaign of Oreo. Okay. I think still like we remember that doing that, right? It's so relatable. This is great for products again. I think some of these copy are good for products, some of them are good for services. Okay. Reversed testimonials.
Put a beauty line. You really expect me to believe that there is a foundation that makes your face look like you're wearing face app? Put a such.
So this is an example where you can see that it's negative. It's reverse psychology. Okay. You really expect me to believe this? Okay. If you start like this, you're really tapping into the reader's psychology so strongly. Okay, read their journey. Ben Franklin effect is when you ask people little questions, little commitments. Okay, so for example, this is what we do for client launches before they have any launch. Okay. So, for example, when my client launched a stock market program, I made him put out a post first saying that, hey, if I weekly took classes on stock market and taught you about the markets and how to invest, would you be interested? Right. So, people answer that question. Okay. Once they answered that, would you be willing to sign up for a wait list? They signed up. Okay. Then I mailed only the wait list that, hey guys, are you interested in this program at a heavy discount of 50%? Many people signed up. Okay. Then I mailed the whole list, did the entire launch. I think that launch we had made almost 19 lakhs probably selling a stock market program with an audience which was less than 20,000 people. So that is incredible in Indian numbers. So now, though that program has gone somewhere else, but it was a great start in the beginning. So yeah, that's the Ben Franklin effect when you slowly raise the level of interaction. How does this work with clients, by the way? You ask a client, hey, I saw that you are working on this. Are you working on LinkedIn? Client says yes. Oh, that's great. I also help my clients with improving their LinkedIn strategy. Can I send you some more ideas? Client says, sure, you send them the ideas. If they like the ideas, you ask them that, hey, would you be interested in me giving you a free 7-day trial of my services? Client says, yes, great. No, fine. Leave it. Okay. If the client, engages you for 7 days, hopefully you'll be able to convert the client. So you can not only use this Ben Franklin effect for copywriting specifically, but also for client acquisition, like slowly increasing the rapport. Because a lot of you actually go directly and ask the client, would you hire me? So that doesn't work. Acha, over justification effect. Okay. Um, what does that mean? We kind of avoid making benefits seem purely incentive based. Okay. So, for example, a lot of people say that, hey, if you buy this, you will get this, you'll get that. and that's very feature based. Okay, what does that mean? I'll show you the example from the page itself because that's easier. Hopefully, I'll find the landing page today because otherwise it becomes like a huge problem. Otherwise, I'll just show the 1% club page. And guys, this page is one of the highest converting pages of all time. Okay. Historically, since I am from the back end, I can tell you this is one of the highest converting landing pages we've ever seen. And it's crazy. Okay. So anything here is worth learning from. Okay. I'm sure there's been changes here, but yeah, let me find the value stack if there is one right now. Oh, yeah, they've probably put like a landing. Yeah, found it. Yeah. So, for example, you see that it's very, very well explained. Okay. You're not just seeing that, you get these modules, you get these tools, you get this community. No, you are actually getting a lot more justification of what you're learning. 4 weeks hands-on learning, practical mentorship, immersive for everything, gamified learning experience. All of these things is basically over justification effect. Sometimes it is important so that your audience understands what they're really getting. Okay. Now, what would be a basic feature? App. Okay. You get the app when you make the purchase. That is basic. Okay. But what does getting the app mean? It means gamified learning experience. You get lifetime access to everything. You get to revisit them every time. Audiences don't understand, right? Audiences don't understand things unless you explain them really well. Okay. And then I think there's a lot of descriptions of these as well. Okay. Fire tool, what is that for? Okay. Very, very, very nicely done. Okay. This is not something I have made, by the way. I think this is a little more recent update. I really like it. Okay. Uh, Beautiful. Coming back. Okay. Positive reinforcement. Mm, Simple. You kind of constantly reinforce that somebody is making progress, somebody is making, growth, having a lot of growth by working with you, learning with you. Okay. So you would see Duolingo do this a lot. Okay. And Duolingo is great at their brand, right? Authority by association, right? So kind of mentioning things like top experts recommend this. Here's why, all of those things. I'll just go quickly through this because there's so much to do. Perceptual contrast. Okay. This. Okay. Yearly this much, monthly this much. Anchoring bias is when you put a certain price in the beginning and then like you start with a higher price, then you recommend the lower one. Dopamine driven is where you kind of tease some sort of curiosity emotions, but like a little bit high intensity emotions than like sadness and stuff. Normative cues is where we mention something commonly chosen by others. Very common example is Sensodyne, Colgate. 9 out of 10 users, 9 out of 10 dentists recommend this. Okay. Yeah, these were all the psychological biases. I hope that you guys have not lost me, are not lost. Okay. And then how do I learn these things even better? Okay, now that you know all these things, how would you learn these things from now on? The first place you will go to learn these will be YouTube content. Okay, great for learning various types of psychological biases. And once you start identifying psychological biases in YouTube thumbnails, you would have killed the game. Okay, just look at this from AVTV. So, what you're going to do is you're going to find channels with strong headline game and templatize their top headlines. Just look at this. Why 93% Indian traders lose money? Okay. What are the copywriting techniques used here? 93% is a number. Okay. Numbers are important in copy. We all know that. By the way, I've not included any generic copy advice today. So, in case you're an absolute beginner, I'm very sorry. But I'm assuming that these basic things you would by now know. Okay. This 2 crore, this 93%, this 1,000, 16, all these numbers are very important in copy. If your copy doesn't have numbers, it has nothing. 330, 97, 0. You would see so many numbers just in this one screenshot. Okay. Because numbers keep us hooked. Okay. Uh, Again, what else? Indian traders. Okay, Indian traders. It's not saying just traders, but like qualifying. Why? Because AVTV's content will be consumed mostly by Indians, right? So when it's qualifying, if I'm an Indian, I'll immediately see, oh, maybe this is about me. Okay. Similarly, you will see videos about women will have women see this video about the hygiene tips you must know about. Okay. Or men, here's why you're not getting matches. Okay. Those kind of thing, right? Indian men get less matches on dating apps, right? Why Indian men, all triggered Indian men will click that video, right? So YouTube content is probably the best place to learn people's psychology. Why? Because A, YouTube is not quick dopamine hit like Reels. Okay. You Reels pe we keep scrolling very mindlessly also. Even if somebody is dancing, we'll hit a like. Okay. Someone is showing the rings, we are happy. Okay. But on YouTube, people actually have to put their mind into it, and people consuming it have also put their mind into it. Okay. That's why YouTube content is probably the highest quality content you can go for. Okay. Now, I will probably, now, how do I use this for content? Okay. I will templatize some of this. So for example, I am templatizing these, okay? And now I'm going to use this for headlines. So as I said, I'm going to write this post, write 10 headline variations for this post using these templates. So now I will see. Now see this. These headlines are so much better. Okay, if I just look at this is starting with the crucial link between quality sleep and hormonal. This is copy shit. Okay, this is copy crap. Okay, but this is attractive. Why women aged 25 to 50 are struggling to maintain hormonal balance. Sleep hygiene explained in 3 minutes. Okay, these things are on your reels. These things are on your YouTube. These things are getting clicks, getting opens, getting sales. Okay, how 30 minutes of relaxation can reset your hormones. Okay. Neha, by the way, my team member, please send this to Asta for our client. Actually, this is quite good. Okay. Sorry, guys. I am gonna hustle because I have multiple businesses. Please don't mind. Okay. But guys, can you see the quality of the headlines now? It's so good. It's so good. I'm sure that once you start using this, your Zomato, that is push notifications, by the way. And they use humor a lot. Okay. Guys, would you be able to use this now to improve your headlines? Because if you just learn this one thing, if you just take this one thing away from today's class, you will be more successful. You will be able to make more money. You can leave the class, doesn't matter, because this makes so much change in your views, right? In your basic views only, it changes so much that anything else that follows after only improves. Okay. So templatize things from YouTube content. Okay. I will try to get Achina to share her tips as well because she's so incredible. She's grown the channel really, really well. And this can be templatized otherwise as well. Okay. So I have just taken templates from these 12, but you can actually scroll a lot of other channels you really like, the popular ones, the ones that you watch the content of, the ones aligned with your clients, and then use it. Okay. Secondly, Quora content. This is sometimes a bit bad, but sometimes it's also interesting. Okay. All the sensational questions. Okay. Is the salary of 30 LPA sufficient to live in Bangalore? Please raise your hand if this has come in your feed as well. Okay. But I don't know who are these people. Yeah. Um, how are 7.1 ppf returns better than 12? Very specific questions. Okay. And especially like more than the question, check out the answer that has a lot of upvotes. That means like people have already resonated with it. Okay. Is Virat Kohli a vain person? We're talking about a celebrity. Of course, it's going to get views. Okay. And also niche websites. Okay. For example, Skim, there's a website called Skim, and it has very good headlines usually. Okay. And it has various niches, various topics. So you can check that out. But if you have a specific industry which has a particular website that's a go-to, it's usually very good with copy because again, they hire copywriters, they hire people to do this full time. It's better to learn from people who are actually doing it than look at theory. I can teach you for 50 hours what is availability heuristic, and you will not know anything because you wouldn't have done anything, and you wouldn't have learned from someone who's actually implementing it real time. Okay. So at the cost of, lowering my own value, this is important. And lastly, I think great and unique way to take inspiration would be magazine issues. Okay. Have you checked it out? It's crazy. Okay. But yeah, again, magazine issues are written by some of the most sensational copywriters. Okay. These are still a little old. I would recommend things like Men's Health, Cosmopolitan, Reader's Digest for men, women, and all sorts of genres. Okay. But usually on the magazine cover, you would find a lot of concise copy that people resonate with. Okay. The, yeah. And try to look at the old covers before things got digitized. You'd get like really, really interesting ideas. How to change your life this year. Top shrinks to fix up your ongoing relationships. 25 ways to meet a new man. 37 ways to get revved again. Should you dump your job or make it work for you? The vitamin diet and exercise fix. The lies men tell you in the bracket, including the man you trust the most. It's enough to give anyone trust issues. Okay. The next one I'm not even going to read. uh, Meeting his mother, a survival guide. So interesting, right? I'll probably make a piece of content on the Cosmopolitan covers. But yeah, magazines are a great place because um, any piece of business which used to depend on readership is a great way to learn copywriting. Okay, because of course, if they don't have readership, they won't be able to monetize. Okay, now that we are done with the basics of copy and like figuring out where to get it, how to improve it, can we move on to how to now use these strategies to actually research, draft, and ideate new things? Ahmed, please don't talk about women's page writers. Okay, there's a men's health magazine as well. एंड मर्द कुछ लेस कलेशी नहीं होता है ठीक है वी हैव नोन इनफ मेन इन आवर लाइव्स to know this that boys are also great at gossip. Okay, I please let's not even get there. Okay, but yeah, even men's magazines are great. Okay, for men related issues. Okay, of course, your best shape ever, total body muscle, lean muscle fast, see result in 9 days. I don't even want to read this. Strip away belly fat, number one summer weight loss, 1783 ways to get better at everything. Special get back in shape issue, high def abs, 3 moves that make them pop, 18 power foods for men. So, no, in general, like there's a lot of men's magazines as well that you can take inspiration from. Okay. So, yeah, please do. Different problems, different issues, different problems. Okay. Now, all that is clear. Everyone has understood everything so far. Are you learning new things? Are you understanding everything? Not overwhelmed? Also understanding how to implement things? Okay. Don't copy anything. Don't worry about it because the upcoming things are just prompts. Okay. I'll show you how to use the prompts, but we will send you the prompts as a guide. So you'll be able to copy directly from the guide. You don't have to screenshot because screenshots, you most likely won't be able to copy the text. Okay. Now, let's say you know that your client needs authority bias in their content. Okay. Let's say your client has given you the material, but it sucks. Okay. You would probably add authority into their content. How do you do that? If you're researching a piece of content, this should be the prompt. Research expert opinions to compile data on how authority bias influences decision making and consumer behavior. Or if the article is not about authority bias, research expert opinions and academic sources to help me add relevant materials into my post that is about health. Okay, or that is about hormonal health. Okay, drafting would be something like draft something persuasive about investment tips that will subtly incorporate authority bias. How does it incorporate authority bias? That also you have to add through expert quotes and endorsements, right? So whenever you incorporate something, you incorporate a piece of psychological bias into your content, you have to also tell how that can be incorporated. We know some when do we know someone is an authority? Either the person is experienced and has a lot of social proof, or they're referencing experts, or they're referencing case studies. Okay. Here you will have one extra step. You will have to validate that information by Googling it. Okay. If ChatGPT tells you that 10% of mobile users uh, are unable to access websites, you can't blindly write that. Okay. You have to check out some data, some website, and then write that. Okay. Although it's getting better at it, it won't be a problem. Okay. Ideation, of course, if something is utilizing quotes from industry leaders, that would have authority. Okay, so those are some easy ways to add authority. Okay, you can change these prompts, you can add your own prompts. Okay, but these are some that I personally use. Okay, social proof, how to add social proof into your content. Research, find studies and demonstrate. Would I do this? Yeah, I would do this. Okay. Find studies or examples demonstrate the power of social proof in online purchasing decisions and group conformity. Okay. So let's say you are trying to pitch a client to add more testimonials. This is something you can probably use there in case you're using this for research. Same for drafting. Create a social media post which highlights customer testimonials to leverage social proof. Okay. Ideation, brainstorm creative ways to present social proof. Okay. So everything is about social proof, but in one step, we are using it for research. In one step, we are using it for drafting content that shows real people using the product. And in the last one, we are kind of brainstorming ideas, being creative with things. Okay. I'll show you an example in a bit, by the way. Don't worry. On the side, you can also see the examples, and you would be able to see that the examples are really, really good. Okay. Uh, Anchoring bias. Okay. Research is, of course, how can anchoring bias be used? You'll probably use this again for pitching. Draft. How do you draft using anchoring bias? You write a product description with the price before and then after, probably. And ideation is come up with headline ideas that set a reference point. Okay. If I'm starting the content piece itself with something that anchors the reader, it's easier to sell them. Okay. This product is worth $200, but you will get it today at half the price. Okay. One very interesting way how this was done was probably in Lara Acosta's recent post. Yeah. Hopefully, I will land on that post itself. But okay, fine. No worry. So anchoring bias doesn't only need to be numbers. Okay. So this is worth hundred of dollars, but it's free for the next 42 hours. Also, you see, this is reverse psychology. 24 hours is the norm. So she's just kind of ultified them. Right. So interesting. Interesting. If you see like the top writers, the top people in their industries, top content creators, you'd always see them use some sort of copy techniques, even if they're not actively thinking about it. I think a lot of times people think they are always thinking about it, but aisa nahi hota hai. Mostly it becomes second nature to us. So we know how to say it, we know how to do it. So it's easier. Okay. Scarcity bias, prompts designed to add scarcity in your copy, in your content. Okay. These are some examples you can use. Now let's actually do a live demo. Okay, I think now is a good example to do. Okay, what are the live demos I had thought about? Let me check quickly. So I'm on slide 97. Where is my live demo part? Okay, it's in 150. So okay, so I can start now. So I was thinking about a sales copy, right? So I will do a sales copy live demo now. And that was a 98, right? Okay. So let's say I'm selling a program and I want to use this. Okay. Great. Awesome. I will go and, yeah. Same prompt, but I will now write a sales page for this person. Uh, I will open Calmly. This is my go-to live demo writing thing. By the way, if you guys want, you can actually do one yourself and open a tab and do it with me. Okay. I have given myself the mock product of a fitness program. I'm not even naming it. You can give yourself anything else. If you have a client, do it for a client. Your client will be really impressed. Send them after this class saying, hey, I did this for you. Let me know if you can use it. Okay. But yeah, this is the program I'm using. Write a direct sales copy for my fitness program. It's for women 25 to 50, hormonal issues, and I will use the scarcity bias here. Use Using scarcity bias. So I'm using it for drafting. It's a new year offer. Ideally, give some more timeline, right? New year offer. Let's see the result now. Let's see. Not bad. Definitely not bad. But it can use a lot of work. But I will keep the result as of now because it will help me to improve this now. Okay. Not good. Although it does have the scarcity bias in it, but I don't like it. Now, what do I do when I don't like it? I will ideate more. Okay. Oops, not here. Yeah. How do I cancel this? Can you think of 10 innovative angles to highlight limited stock or exclusive offers in upcoming promotions for New Year period? Right. I have to specify that because I usually market during this period. Now I'm getting good ideas, right? I'm getting this idea of a VIP access. I am getting a countdown idea, limited enrollment, first come, first serve, fine. Amongst all this, I think I like the first one. This is still fine. Okay, this is fine. Okay. So I will write this one because VIP access is a good idea for scarcity bias inclusion. Bonus for early birds is a good idea. So maybe 1 month of extra training for them. And special add-ons. No. Yeah, this is fine. Sign up now to get a free personalized consultation. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. Now I'm not done writing this, of course, but now I know some really good angles or really interesting bonuses I can add thanks to the scarcity prompt. Okay. So you have to get really, really good with understanding where you have to change things. But I still don't like the sales letter. Don't worry. I don't like it as much as you don't. But I'll teach you how to improve this or how to make it much more attractive. But for that, we have to get to the part where I'm discussing what needs to be included. So this demo will go on. Don't worry. There's a reason the demo was supposed to be on 150. But yeah, let's talk about some more. Okay. But I hope that you've gotten the starting point at least. Loss aversion, of course, uh, we talk about how we can avoid losses. We ideate how to frame that. Okay. I think majority of these things are just examples right now. So hopefully you'll be able to use it. We actually should go and do one example. Okay, just a second. Again, these are again all templates. Okay, research-based templates. Here, I just have not included the topic so that you can change these as per your requirement. Okay. Yeah, actually, let's go to the live demo. Oh, storytelling is there. Oh, should I go do the live demo first or should I do the storytelling part first? Because the rest is just templates. Just quickly tell me so that I can go into that. I am more pro ChatGPT than cloud, but sometimes it's cloud. Okay, fine. All right. This is slide 170. Okay. So there is something that I will tell you about, which is amongst the resources I recommend. Okay. And this resource is the 21-part sales letter. And this is what you're going to use when you don't get desirable answers from ChatGPT, especially because you've not given it a good formula. Mostly it's because, yeah, so we prompt it like this, and the responses are really good. Most of the times it's really good. I remember when I did this, it was amazing. Let me see if it works now. But usually the responses are really good. There are times when ChatGPT is also like really bad. So yeah, I'll just give ChatGPT the entire formula. Write a direct sales copy from a fitness program. It's for women between 25 to 50 suffering from hormonal issues. Use scarcity by draft. Use this formula. And by the way, I can also use this inside Chat Cloud and see which one gives me a better response. But honestly, it's always a trick. Okay, much better. And also, when you get it in this format, since it's so well designated, now you can individually change each part when you don't like it. Okay. So for example, this part is really good. I don't need to change it. Ease of use. Our easy to follow plans integrate seamlessly into your daily routine, making it simple to stay on track. Okay. I'll probably just make it I or mine. My plan is my easy to follow plan is okay. Speed of all of it is so good. Future pace. It's put every strategy okay in place, and thus it improves so much. This is such a massive improvement from this. Okay, it's nothing. Bonuses, very well done, right? This is very, very good. Okay, of course, now you have to improve it. Otherwise, why will you get paid? But this is pretty good. Now it is well designated. We'll still work on the headline and hooks using the strategies I teach you. Okay, but the content is almost perfect now, 85% perfect. Okay. Most of the content, most of the copy I write these days, I write using this formula, and it works terrifically. So don't worry that it won't get results. It still creates similar and even better results sometimes. Okay. Let's see this now. Almost the same result, actually. Introducing the hormone. Oh, it has actually incorporated a name. Okay. Finally, a fitness program that actually understands your hormones. Imagine waking up every morning feeling energized, confident, and in control of your body again. I know. So I do think this is a little bit more corporate language. Okay. Right? This is a little bit more corporate language, and this is a little bit more personalized. Okay. I know exactly what you're going through, the endless cycle of crash diets, the embarrassment, blah, blah, blah. So now tell me something, guys, based on everything so far, which response do you like better? Is it the Claude one or is it the ChatGPT one? Claude or ChatGPT? Team Claude or Team ChatGPT? For this one prompt, particularly, please. Claude. All of you say Claude. All hail Claude. All of you love Claude. Great. Somewhat. Right answer does depend on client. Right answer also depends on your prompt itself. And now I'm going to teach you something that's going to change your life forever, which is not a part of the class itself, but tonality. Okay. And what I'm going to do, this is great. Now use the conversational tone and add a personal brand name who's very, very recognizable. Like Gary Vee, and write the same and rewrite. I hope that my limit is not crossed now. I'll just copy this because it's still usable. Yeah, I think I've crossed the limit for the 4.0, but then this is on the free plan only. Don't worry. Yikes. 1 second. Let us keep it copied. Sorry. New chart. Again, write this in Gary V conversational tone. And now you will see that the tone will really change, because I think the tonality is the biggest problem in ChatGPT particularly. See, now it's much better. We created this program for women just like you, those who are tired. No complicated routines or fancy jargon. Our plans fit right into your life. No stress. Stay on track, feel good, and see results fast. Here's the best part: you will start feeling better in just a few weeks. Okay. So now, if you see that language has really improved a lot, okay, really improved a lot. If you actually, I don't know why it recognizes my boyfriend's name every time. But yeah, it's very, very good if you can give ChatGPT a tonality. But I think if you are going for conversational language, Claude naturally has a finesse for more casual language, more interactive language, more personalized language. So it does beat it there all the time. But I still do like ChatGPT a lot because I'm able to prompt it a lot more. Okay. A lot of times I hit limits. Like when I give certain prompts, Claude says that it won't give me a response. So that's the main reason I personally you still use ChatGPT. Otherwise, Claude is very good. Okay. But hopefully, this example was very clear. You'll be able to use this to draft an email, draft a direct response copy. And yeah, let me know if this is completely clear. Please change it. Guys, I'll share all the prompts. Don't worry. But the one that I have used here very specifically is this 21 part sales letter formula. Okay. I'll get to this part in the resources part. So don't worry. I'll get to it. Okay. Coming back. Now, you might need to use ChatGPT for your storytelling. Okay. Here are all the story prompts you can use for hero's journey. So let's say you want to create a post. So something like tell the story of a time when I faced a significant challenge in this area and how I overcame it. These prompts will give you very unique answers, very unique materials. For example, uh, yeah, tell me a story of a time when I found challenges finding the right talent. This is something that we actually use for a client. So yeah, this did help. But yeah, again, Claude will give you probably a different response, a more conversational response. What are some other narrative stories that you can use? Relatable lessons and struggles. Okay. Again, great for content, great for materials. Okay. Write a post that shares a personal failure and what I learned from it. Okay. Describe a time when I felt stuck. Tell a story about a personal struggle in balancing work and life. All of these questions would really help you. I'm not going over these too much. These prompts themselves are very good to give you very personalized posts. All my recent posts on LinkedIn have done over almost 2000 likes at least, and almost all of them are written using ChatGPT. Okay. Most of it is written using ChatGPT, just using these prompts. Okay. So you have to prompt it really well. You can't just say, write a post. Okay. So these are the prompts I suggest you use. Use it for 30 days and please let me know your results. If you don't get results, tell me. I'll work as your social media manager because I know that these work really, really well. Okay. Some examples I've added, but then I'm not going over that because we're supposed to wrap up by 9 and I don't want to lose you guys before I reach the end. But transformation stories are also great. Share a post about my progress, describe a major skill I developed. Okay. So that would help you get a starting point. If you are struggling with writing new content, it would really, really help you get there. Okay. I don't know why I added them twice. Advice through storytelling. Okay. Especially if you want to start your post through storytelling. A lot of top creators do that. Jasmine Alec does that. He talks about his child first. Some people lean on their career, some people lean on their hustle. Whatever you want to lean on, you can use these as prompts. And moment of realization is another storytelling prompt that you can use. Moment of realization is like light bulb moment. Okay. This really helps show agility, especially if you serve a certain skill, especially in marketing, we constantly have to innovate. So particularly this helps me a lot. Yes, you can use it for your clients. This is all the prompts I use for my client work. So this is like almost. Oh yeah, sorry, I have added 10 examples, right? Yeah, so sorry. So this will be total of 50 examples that I will give you. There's nothing much to go over here. It's very good as prompts. I'm not wasting my time on this before I get to the resources because I need to explain the resources to you guys. But hopefully this is clear. This is simple, very simple, right? Very simple. Transformation, relatable lessons, advice, and moment of realization. Okay, these are good enough for you to create impressionable stories, materials. Okay, just copy paste this, your next 2 months worth of content is ready. Okay, and the last part would be hooks and headlines. Of course, you need to be really, really good at hooks and headlines. Okay, how do we do that? Simple steps, but I think you guys already noticed how I did it, right? In the beginning, I just took a few templates and I pasted it. So you define your audience and intent and base your prompts based on that. And I will send this across to you. But guys, you are in this class for lives, right? So we know all this, right? We know that we have to leverage the psychological biases. We know that we'll use these formulas. You actually want to see me use these formulas. Okay. So let's do that. Okay. And let's do another live demo of this. Okay. Today, before I started this class, I saw that Lara Acosta posted this thing. So this is another live demo I'll do. But what I like doing is I if you're a student, of course, you've seen me do this before because this is literally what I do. I have made a compilation of 21 hooks I commonly use. I copy that. Okay. And then when I go to ChatGPT, I give it the context that I am designing posts for a, let's skip the fitness client, for a mental health app. Mental health influencer, I would say, because these prompts are designed for personal brands. Use these prompts and suggest headlines. Also, I know that there are 21, but these are 21 I have shortlisted. Usually when I'm prompting, I don't use 21 actually. I use only 5 because otherwise ChatGPT also gets very confused. Because, for example, this is not even relevant to a mental health influencer, right? The $0 thing. I'll just try the ones which will be relevant. Okay. Yeah. I'll just delete the middle one. And put it. Yeah. Now you'd see this is like much better. Now, if I want 20, I will write suggest 20. I've read 50 mental health books in 3 months. Here's what I learned. Mental Health 101 for entrepreneurs. Why hustle culture is toxic. Here's my take. Stop ignoring your mental health today. Here's why you need to act. Okay. So you get much more tailored headlines when you do this. Okay. Is this clear? How many of you are new to this? How many of you like saw this for the first time? Because I have done this before. Let me know because I really want to know who are the ones who actively attend all sessions. If you're a freelance 101 student, you should know this. This is one of the best hacks. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I will find Lara's material today. So this is another live demo. Can you write 3 different posts for a marketing influencer using these templates? This template. So see, put the template, put the prompt. So good. How you think you should sell, how you should actually sell, how you think you should grow your following, how you should actually grow your following. Okay, great. Interesting. Okay. Of course, it's generic content. Anyone who has made templates like this, it's generic templates only. Okay. But if instead of marketing influencer, I put can you write three different posts for a, let's go back to fitness now. Fitness coach using this template. Now you'll see that it'll look different. Interesting. We're talking about a failure here. Great. There's too many I made my fitness goals, but not enough I struggled losing weight. This year I have missed out work. You take the post and you remove all the objects and you remove everything that is replaceable or that you can templatize. It's on her recent post, Ahmed. You can just download it from there. See, so good. So yeah, hopefully the live demo helped. Guys, live demo is clear. You saw how I used it for mail writing, social media content writing, hook writing. Everybody understood how to use these because this is a hell lot of prompts. This one class alone, I think it would have had like a 200 prompts. But if you don't know how to use the prompts, you can get 500 prompts by ChatGPT only right now. So it's only when you use it, you know it. Okay. Now let's talk about some resources before we end this class. This is the 21-part sales letter that I talked to you about for long form materials. It's very, very helpful. There's a guy called Samuel J. Woods who has this copywriting conversion source book, which has great materials on copywriting and learning copywriting. I saw a lot of you ask that during the session. He also has this thing called the Bionic Marketing Newsletter. And again, that's very good. Okay, this is one of those guys who has really stayed active. I've seen so many copywriters come and go, but this guy has really stayed active. For YouTube content, YouTube tutorials, Alex Catoni is the best, followed by Tyson Pody, followed by the very controversial Dan Lok, but this guy was also very good in his own time. If you want to learn like the basics of copy, they do have good lessons. Okay. All the newsletters I recommend. Alex Catoni's copywriting newsletter, copywriting examples, marketing examined. I'll give you all this, by the way, don't worry. But this is where I keep learning because, again, everything that I've taught you today is great. But 3 months down the line, you'll need to know what's now working and you'll have to templatize that. Okay. So this is everything that you will add or, kind of subscribe to today after this class. Okay. I hope that you have learned a lot of things today. I hope that you'll be now able to implement this to write better content. You probably will be now also able to sell this as a service to your clients, even if you are still not selling it. I hope that now you feel more confident. Let me know in the chat quickly, all the students, all Freelance 101 students, all the attendees who have joined from outside, please let me know if you understood, if you would now be able to implement this, if you got all the examples. Was the examples easy to follow?